First contact in the med bay. The emergency alert blared through the UNSS Nightingale's medical bay, pulling Dr. Sarah Chen from her research notes. Red warning lights pulsed against sterile white walls as the ship's AI announced, "Incoming distress signal. Unknown vessel. Multiple casualties reported. Medical team to emergency stations." Sarah's fingers flew across her tablet, bringing up the preliminary scans. The vessel's design was unlike anything in their database. Definitely not human. Her heart raced, but years of emergency medicine kept her movements precise and controlled as she prepared the bay for whatever might come through those doors. "Dr. Chen." Captain Rivera's voice came through her comm. "We're looking at approximately 20 critically injured aliens. Their ship suffered severe damage from an asteroid collision. Their medical officer is conscious and attempting communication. You'll be their primary contact." "Understood, Captain. Bay 1 is prepped and ready." Sarah looked around at her team, all moving with practiced efficiency. They had trained for first contact scenarios, but this was different. This was real. The doors hissed open. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as the first stretcher glided in on antigrav units. The alien lying there had iridescent scaled skin that shifted between deep purple and blue, with a distinctly humanoid form but more elongated limbs. Multiple lacerations crossed their torso, leaking a silvery fluid that must be their blood. Behind the stretcher glided, another alien, this one wearing what appeared to be a medical uniform. Their movements were eerily graceful despite the obvious tension in their posture. 4 luminescent eyes fixed on Sarah, and a voice emerged, somehow both melodic and clinical. "I am Medical Officer Kizara of the stellar vessel Luminous Path. Our primary systems are failing. We require immediate assistance." Sarah stepped forward, medical scanner already in hand. "I'm Dr. Sarah Chen, Chief Medical Officer of the Nightingale. We'll help however we can, but our physiologies are different. I'll need your guidance." Kizara moved closer, their scaled skin rippling with patterns that seemed to convey emotion. "Your assistance is unexpected. Most species avoid contact with unknown vessels." "We're doctors," Sarah replied simply, already examining the injured alien's vital signs. "Helping those in need isn't optional." The next few hours passed in a blur of activity. Sarah and Kizara worked in tandem, their different medical knowledge complementing each other in unexpected ways. The alien physician possessed incredible intuitive understanding of cellular processes, while Sarah's experience with trauma surgery proved invaluable for the immediate injuries. "Their blood chemistry is fascinating," Sarah muttered, studying the readings. "The silver compound acts as both oxygen carrier and cellular repair facilitator." "Kizara, do you see this protein structure?" The alien medical officer leaned in, their scaled skin shifting to a deeper blue. "Yes, it is similar to what you call hemoglobin, but more efficient. Though I notice your patient's cells have remarkable regenerative properties we lack." As they worked, Sarah couldn't help but notice Kizara's growing interest in human physiology. The alien physician kept glancing at the medical bay's human patient records displayed on nearby screens. "Your species is remarkably resilient," Kizara observed while treating a particularly severe laceration. "These cellular repair mechanisms, they're unlike anything in our medical database." Sarah nodded, administering a modified coagulant she and Kizara had determined would be safe for their patients. "Human bodies are surprisingly adaptable. We've evolved to survive a wide range of conditions. Perhaps," Kizara's voice took on a thoughtful tone, "there is much we could learn from each other. Our medical technologies, combined with your biological advantages." The idea hung in the air between them, full of possibility. Sarah felt the familiar excitement of scientific discovery building in her chest. "Are you proposing a medical exchange program?" Kizara's skin rippled with patterns Sarah was beginning to recognize as enthusiasm. "Our people have advanced biotechnology, but we lack your species' natural healing capabilities. A joint study could benefit both our peoples." Before Sarah could respond, one of the injured aliens went into acute respiratory distress. Both physicians snapped back to the immediate crisis, their discussion of future collaboration temporarily forgotten. Hours later, when all patients were finally stabilized, Sarah found herself in her office with Kizara, both of them exhausted but energized by the possibilities their impromptu collaboration had revealed. "Your people's approach to medicine is quite different from ours," Kizara observed, their four eyes studying Sarah with open curiosity. "You focus on supporting natural healing processes, while we tend to rely more on technological intervention." Sarah nodded, pulling up some comparative scans on her holodisplay. "Both approaches have their merits. Look here, your biotechnology allowed us to stabilize that arterial rupture faster than any human method I know. But our patient's natural healing response helped prevent rejection of the synthetic tissue." Indeed, Kizara's skin shifted to a thoughtful shade of violet. "Dr. Chen, I believe this encounter may be more significant than either of us initially realized. With your permission, I would like to propose a formal medical research partnership between our peoples." Sarah felt a smile spreading across her face. "I was hoping you'd say that. The potential benefits to both our species could be revolutionary." She paused, considering the implications. "Though I should warn you, human bureaucracy can be quite challenging to navigate." Kizura made a sound that might have been a laugh. "As can ours. But I believe the potential benefits outweigh the administrative challenges. Your species' remarkable healing capabilities, combined with our biotechnology." They trailed off, their skin rippling with excited patterns. "Could change the future of medicine itself," Sarah finished. She extended her hand, then caught herself, unsure if the gesture would be understood or welcome. But Kizara reached out, their scaled fingers gently clasping hers. "To the future of interspecies medicine, Dr. Chen." As Sarah looked into Kizara's four earnest eyes, she knew they were standing on the brink of something extraordinary. What had begun as an emergency response was about to evolve into something that could revolutionize medical science for both their species. And this was only the beginning. The healing bridge. 3 weeks after the emergency rescue, the UNSS Nightingale's medical bay had transformed into an unprecedented center of interspecies medical research. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a holographic display, watching in fascination as human and Alexitheri cellular structures interacted in a controlled simulation. "Remarkable," Kizara observed, their scaled skin shimmering with patterns of deep indigo. Their species' indication of intense concentration. "Human cellular membranes show significantly higher adaptability than we anticipated. The integration rate with our synthetic tissues exceeds all projected models." Sarah nodded, manipulating the display to highlight specific interaction points. "It's the natural plasticity of our cell structures. Humans evolved on a planet with highly variable conditions. Our bodies had to develop exceptional adaptation mechanisms. Their research facility had become a strange blend of human and Alexitheri technology. Sleek Federation medical scanners sat alongside crystalline alien diagnostic tools. The air hummed with the combined sounds of human and alien medical equipment, creating an oddly harmonious backdrop to their work. What I find most intriguing," Kizara continued, their four eyes focused intently on the simulation, "is your species' inflammatory response. While many would consider it primitive compared to our targeted immune systems, its very aggressive nature provides advantages we hadn't considered." Sarah couldn't help but smile at Kizara's diplomatic phrasing. "You mean it's messy but effective?" "Precisely." Kizara's skin rippled with amusement. "Your bodies throw everything they have at a problem. It's inefficient, yet remarkably successful. The redundancy in your healing systems, it's like having multiple backup plans operating simultaneously." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Dr. James Torres, carrying fresh tissue samples from their latest round of experiments. "You're going to want to see this," he said, his excitement palpable. "The human stem cells we exposed to the Alexitheri regenerative compound. They're showing unprecedented differentiation capabilities." Sarah and Kizara moved quickly to the analysis station. The microscopic view revealed human stem cells practically dancing with possibilities, their potential amplified by the alien compound in ways they'd never seen before. This could revolutionize regenerative medicine. Sarah breathed, watching the cells respond to various stimuli. The implications for treating degenerative diseases alone. And yet, Kizara interjected, their skin shifting to a thoughtful violet. We still cannot fully replicate your species' natural healing response. Your body's ability to adapt and overcome trauma continues to surprise us. A soft chime interrupted their discussion. Time for their daily patient rounds. The medical bay now hosted both human and Alxitheri patients, providing an invaluable opportunity to study both species' healing processes in real time. Their first stop was Lisa Chen, no relation to Sarah, a mining engineer who had suffered severe plasma burns 3 days ago. The wound, treated with a combination of traditional human methods and Alxitheri biotechnology, was healing at an unprecedented rate. The pain is almost gone, Lisa reported, watching with fascination as Kizara's scaled hands passed a crystalline diagnostic tool over her healing skin, and I can feel a sort of tingling sensation. That's the Alxitheri regenerative matrix integrating with your natural healing process, Sarah explained. Your body's actually learning to work with the alien technology, incorporating it into your own repair mechanisms. Kizara's skin flickered with excitement patterns. The speed of adaptation is remarkable. In our species, such integration would take weeks, not days. Their next patient was a young Alxitheri engineer recovering from severe internal injuries. The traditional Alxitheri treatments had been enhanced with human-derived compounds, leading to some unexpected but promising results. Their cellular reconstruction is proceeding at 131% of normal efficiency, Kizara noted, studying the readings. The addition of human growth factors has significantly accelerated the process. Sarah watched the diagnostic displays, still amazed by how the combination of their medical technologies created something greater than the sum of its parts. It's like our different approaches to healing complement each other perfectly. Your precision and our adaptability. Together, they create possibilities neither of our species imagined, Kizara finished. Their skin rippled with a pattern Sarah had come to recognize as profound satisfaction. Later that evening, Sarah sat in her office reviewing the day's data. The results were incredible, but something was nagging at her. There was a pattern here, something just beyond her grasp. Kizara entered, carrying 2 containers, one of human coffee, one of their own preferred stimulant beverage. They had quickly learned to appreciate their respective needs for caffeine-like substances during long research sessions. You're troubled, Kizara observed, setting Sarah's coffee before her. Your expression matches our worry patterns. Sarah smiled, grateful for how well they'd learned to read each other. Not troubled exactly. More puzzled. Look at these cellular response patterns. There's something here we're missing. Kizara settled into the specially designed chair they'd been provided, their 4 eyes scanning the data. The human samples consistently show higher adaptation rates than predicted, even accounting for your species' natural resilience. Exactly, Sarah said, pulling up more charts. It's as if exposure to your biotechnology isn't just healing our cells, it's teaching them, making them even more adaptable than they already were. Kizara's skin shifted to deep purple, their equivalent of a startled expression. And if this effect is consistent across larger populations, we might be looking at more than just a medical breakthrough, Sarah finished. This could be the key to enhancing both our species' natural healing capabilities, not just treating injuries and illnesses, but fundamentally improving how our bodies respond to them. They sat in silence for a moment, contemplating the implications. Finally, Kizara spoke, their voice carrying a note of what might have been awe. When my ship was damaged, we expected at best to receive basic emergency aid. Instead, we may have stumbled upon the greatest medical advancement in either of our species' histories. Sarah nodded, her excitement building as the possibilities unfolded in her mind. And we've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to learn, to discover. Together, Kizara added, their skin glowing with optimistic patterns. Together, Sarah agreed, raising her coffee cup in a toast to their continued collaboration. Neither of them could have known that their breakthrough was about to become more crucial than ever, for both their species were about to face a challenge that would test the limits of their combined medical knowledge and push their collaboration to its absolute limits. Breakthrough. The first warning signs appeared 6 days after their groundbreaking discovery. Dr. Sarah Chin was reviewing patient data when she noticed an anomaly in the latest batch of test results. Several human patients treated with the combined human-ULGS theory medical protocols were showing unusual cellular activity. Kizara, she called, her voice tight with concern. I need your eyes on this. The ULGS theory medical officer glided to her station, their scaled skin shifting to analytical blue as they studied the readings. These patterns, they're not consistent with either of our expected healing responses. Sarah pulled up more detailed scans. Look at the cellular mutation rate. It's accelerating, but not in a way that suggests damage. It's more like evolution. Kizara finished, their 4 eyes widening. The human cells are adapting to our biotechnology at a fundamental level. They're not just accepting the treatment. They're incorporating it into their own genetic structure. The implications were staggering. What had started as a simple medical collaboration was veering into uncharted territory. Human cells, already remarkably adaptable, were taking the advanced ULGS theory biotechnology and doing something unprecedented with it. We need to run more tests, Sarah said, already reaching for fresh sample containers. And we need to check all patients who've received the combined treatments. The next 48 hours were a blur of intense research and monitoring. Every test revealed the same pattern. Human cells were not just healing faster, they were becoming more resilient, more adaptable, more efficient at repairing damage. It's like they're learning, Dr. Torres observed, studying a fresh batch of results, taking the best aspects of ULGS theory cellular structure and incorporating them into human biology. Kizara's skin rippled with concerned patterns. This level of adaptation, it's far beyond anything we've seen in our previous encounters with other species. Most biological systems reject foreign elements. Yours embrace them, improve upon them. Sarah was about to respond when an urgent alert flashed across her screen. One of their patients, Marina Santos, was showing elevated neural activity. They rushed to her room, medical scanners at ready. Marina was sitting up in bed, looking more alert and energetic than anyone recovering from major surgery had any right to be. Dr. Chen, she said, her voice clear and strong. Something's different. I feel. I can't explain it. Everything seems sharper, clearer. The scans confirmed it. Marina's neural pathways were operating with unprecedented efficiency. The ULGS theory regenerative compounds hadn't just healed her injuries, they had enhanced her entire nervous system. This is incredible, Sarah breathed, studying the readings. Her neurons are forming new connections at 10 times the normal rate. It's as if her brain is optimizing itself using the ULGS theory biotechnology as a template. Kizara moved closer, their diagnostic tools humming. The integration is perfect. No rejection, no adverse effects. Your species' adaptability is remarkable. Word of their discovery spread quickly through the medical community. Within days, the Nightingale was flooded with requests for data from both human and ULGS theory medical institutions. The implications were too significant to ignore. In her office later that evening, Sarah and Kizara sat surrounded by holographic displays showing the latest test results. The excitement of discovery was tempered by the weight of responsibility they both felt. We need to proceed carefully, Sarah said, studying a particularly interesting neural scan. This kind of cellular enhancement, it could revolutionize medicine, but it could also be dangerous if not properly understood. Kizara's skin shifted to thoughtful violet. Agreed. The potential for misuse is significant. Yet, The benefits cannot be ignored. Your species' unique ability to adapt and improve upon our biotechnology could save countless lives. It's not just the physical healing, Sarah noted. The neural enhancements alone could help treat everything from brain injuries to degenerative disorders. But we need to understand exactly how and why human cells are able to integrate so successfully with your technology. Their discussion was interrupted by an urgent message from the ship's captain. Dr. Chen, Kazera, we're receiving reports of a new viral outbreak in the Centauri colonies. Multiple species affected, including both humans and Alxtheri. They're requesting immediate assistance. Sarah and Kazera shared a look. Their breakthrough couldn't have come at a more crucial time. This could be the test we need, Kazera said, their skin patterns showing determination. A real-world application of our combined medical knowledge. Sarah nodded, already pulling up data on the outbreak. If human adaptability can be leveraged against this virus, combined with Alxtheri biotechnology, we might be able to develop a cure that works for both our species, Kazera finished. The stakes had suddenly become much higher. What had begun as an emergency rescue evolved into a groundbreaking medical collaboration and was now racing towards something even more significant. A chance to prove that the combination of human resilience and alien technology could save lives on an unprecedented scale. As they prepared for the challenge ahead, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of anxiety and excitement. They were about to put their theories to the ultimate test, and the lives of countless beings from both their species hung in the balance. Ready? She asked Kazera, gathering their research data. The Alxtheri medical officer's skin glowed with confident patterns. Ready. Though I must admit, working with humans has taught me that sometimes the most remarkable breakthroughs come from embracing the unexpected. Sarah smiled. That's humanity for you. We specialize in the unexpected. Little did they know, the viral outbreak they were about to face would push both their medical breakthrough and their interspecies collaboration to the absolute limit. And beyond. Crisis point. The Centauri Medical Station loomed before the Nightingale, its usually bustling docking bays eerily quiet. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation window, watching as quarantine protocols engaged around their ship. The viral outbreak had spread faster than anyone anticipated, affecting both human and Alxtheri populations with devastating efficiency. Latest reports indicate a 47% infection rate across all colonies in the sector, Kazera announced, their skin a muted gray of concern. The virus appears to be adapting to both our species' immune responses simultaneously. Sarah studied the preliminary data streaming across her tablet. The virus was unlike anything they'd encountered before. It seemed to target the very cellular adaptation mechanisms that made both species unique. For humans, it suppressed their natural healing response. For the Alxtheri, it corrupted their advanced biological systems. It's almost like it was designed to affect both our species, Sarah muttered, noting the virus's peculiar structure. The way it adapts. Much like your own cells adapted to our biotechnology, Kazera observed, their 4 eyes focused intently on the data. But in reverse, using our strengths against us. They were escorted to the station's primary medical lab by staff wearing full containment suits. The scene inside was controlled chaos. Medical personnel from both species working frantically to treat the growing number of patients. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the station's chief medical officer, greeted them with visible relief. Thank God you're here. We've got 300 infected and counting. Standard treatments are failing, and the virus is mutating faster than we can track. Sarah and Kazera immediately integrated themselves into the research effort. Their recent breakthrough in combining human adaptability with Alxtheri biotechnology might be the key, but they needed to understand exactly what they were fighting first. Hours passed in a blur of research and emergency treatment. Sarah found herself working alongside Kazera, with an efficiency born of their weeks of collaboration, their different approaches to medicine complementing each other perfectly. Look at this, Sarah called out, highlighting a particular scan. The virus isn't just attacking our immune systems, it's learning from them. Each failed attempt at treatment makes it stronger. Kizera's skin flickered with realization patterns, just as human cells learn from our biotechnology. But this is a perversion of that process. That's it, Sarah exclaimed, her mind racing. We've been looking at this wrong. We're not fighting a virus. We're fighting an adaptive system, like our own cells but malicious. What if we could use our breakthrough to turn that against it? The next 12 hours were intense. They worked tirelessly, combining their understanding of human cellular adaptation with HFY biotechnology to develop a new approach. Instead of trying to kill the virus directly, they would attempt to outmaneuver it at its own game. The treatment needs to be administered simultaneously to both species, Kizera explained to the medical team. The virus links us in its attack. We must be linked in our defense. The first trials were nerve-wracking. They selected 2 critical patients, 1 human, 1 HFY, and administered the experimental treatment. Everyone watched the monitors anxiously as the combined therapy began to take effect. Look at these readings, Dr. Tanaka breathed, pointing to the displays. The human patient's adaptive response is amplifying the HFY biotechnology, and the enhanced biotechnology is, in turn, strengthening the human healing response. They're creating a feedback loop, Sarah realized, each species' strength reinforcing the others. The virus, faced with this unprecedented combined defense, began to falter. Instead of adapting to overcome the treatment, it found itself trapped between 2 complementary healing systems that were themselves constantly adapting and improving. But their victory celebration was short-lived. As they prepared to treat more patients, an alarm blared through the station. "Emergency in Ward C," the AI announced. "Multiple organ failures detected. Critical status in 17 patients." "The virus is accelerating its attack," Kizera observed, their skin pulsing with urgent patterns. "It senses it's losing, and it's making a final push to overwhelm its hosts." Sarah felt the weight of every life at stake pressing down on her. They had a treatment that worked, but could they implement it fast enough? And would their supplies of the specialized biotechnology last? "We need to modify the treatment," she announced, already moving toward the lab. "Something faster, more aggressive. We need to match the virus's acceleration." Kizera followed, their movements quick and decisive. "Agreed. But increasing the potency of the treatment could be dangerous. The interaction between our medical technologies is still not fully understood." "We don't have a choice," Sarah replied, pulling up the treatment protocols. "Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from taking calculated risks. Humanity's greatest achievements often came when we had our backs against the wall." Kizera's skin shifted to a pattern Sarah had never seen before, something between determination and admiration. "Then let us hope that your species' remarkable ability to thrive under pressure serves us all well today." As they raced to modify their treatment, Sarah couldn't help but reflect on the irony of their situation. The very adaptability that had made this crisis possible might be the key to solving it. And perhaps, just perhaps, this crisis would prove that the combination of human resilience and alien technology was more powerful than anyone had imagined. The next few hours would determine not just the fate of the infected patients, but the future of interspecies medicine itself. Universal medicine. The modified treatment coursed through the station's medical systems, a blend of human adaptability and HFY biotechnology, more potent than anything they'd dared try before. Dr. Sarah Chen watched the monitors with intense focus, her hand unconsciously gripping the edge of her console. "First wave of treatment complete," Kizera announced, their scaled skin shifting through patterns of concentration. "Patient responses incoming." The data began flowing across their screens. Heart rates, neural patterns, cellular activities, all showing remarkable changes. The enhanced treatment was working faster than they'd hoped, but it was also pushing both species biology to its limits. "Look at these adaptation rates," Sarah breathed, studying the readouts. The human immune systems aren't just fighting back. They're evolving, learning, and the HFY biotechnology is amplifying every positive change. Kizera's 4 eyes darted between multiple displays. The virus is attempting to counter-adapt, but it can't keep pace. The combined healing response is too dynamic, too unpredictable. Throughout the station, patients who had been critically ill began showing signs of improvement. The virus, faced with an unprecedented alliance of human resilience and alien technology, was losing its foothold. Dr. Tanaka rushed into the lab, her face bright with excitement. Ward C is stabilizing. We're seeing cellular regeneration in both species at rates we've never recorded before. Whatever you did, it's not just stopping the virus. It's helping patients recover faster than we thought possible. But Sarah noticed something else in the data, something unexpected. Kizera, look at these neural patterns. The recovery isn't just physical. Both species are showing increased synaptic activity, enhanced healing responses. It's like the treatment is teaching their bodies how to work together at a fundamental level. Kizera's skin rippled with realization patterns. The crisis forced us to push the boundaries of our medical integration further than we planned. In doing so, we may have discovered something far more significant than a cure. Over the next few hours, as the treatment continued to spread through the station, their discovery became clear. The combined human HFY medical protocol wasn't just effective against the virus. It was reshaping their understanding of interspecies medicine itself. "It's beautiful," Sarah said softly, watching a holographic display of human and HFY cells working in perfect harmony. "We've created something entirely new. Not just human medicine, not just HFY technology, but a true synthesis of both. A universal medicine," Kizera added, their skin glowing with proud patterns. "Born from crisis, but perhaps destined to revolutionize healing across all species." As the immediate danger passed, the implications of their breakthrough began to sink in. Representatives from both the Human Medical Council and the HFY Health Collective were already requesting detailed reports and proposing expanded research programs. In Sarah's office, she and Kizera sat reviewing the final data from the crisis. The room was quiet save for the soft hum of medical equipment and the occasional chime of incoming messages from excited researchers across known space. "You know," Sarah said, looking up from her tablet, "when your ship first appeared on our sensors, I never imagined we'd end up here, creating an entirely new branch of medical science." Kizera's skin shifted to thoughtful violet. "Among my people, there is a saying, the greatest discoveries come from the meeting of different paths, but I don't think anyone anticipated just how tremendously our species' adaptability would transform our understanding of medicine. Human stubbornness at its finest," Sarah smiled. "We see a problem, we adapt, we overcome. But this time, we didn't do it alone. The combination of our natural resilience and your advanced biotechnology, it's something neither of our species could have achieved separately." A message flashed across their screens, the first official joint statement from human and HFY medical authorities. The new medical protocols were being fast-tracked for implementation across both civilizations. More than that, other species were already requesting access to the research, seeing the potential for adaptation to their own biologies. "We should be proud," Kizera said, their skin glowing with satisfaction. "This crisis could have driven our species apart. Instead, it has brought us closer than ever." Sarah nodded, thinking of all the possibilities that lay ahead. "This is just the beginning, isn't it? There's so much more we could discover together." "Indeed." Kizera's patterns shifted to show excitement. "Your species' remarkable ability to adapt and overcome, combined with our technological advancement, the potential is limitless." As they sat there, surrounded by the evidence of their successful collaboration, Sarah realized they had achieved something far greater than a medical breakthrough. They had proven that the greatest advances come not from working alone, but from bringing together different strengths, different perspectives, different ways of healing. The virus had tried to use their biological differences against them. Instead, those very differences had become the key to not just survival, but to a medical revolution that would benefit all species. To universal medicine, Sarah said, raising her coffee cup in a toast. Kazura raised their own drink, their skin shimmering with patterns of joy and hope. To the future we'll build together. Outside the station's windows, stars glittered against the vast darkness of space. Somewhere out there, countless beings of countless species waited to benefit from this unprecedented breakthrough in medical science. A breakthrough that proved that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in standing alone, but in learning to heal together. The end.